Are you tired of your current salary and you want to walk away with better pay? Well, in today's video, I want to show you the 3 top ways how you could get a better paying job. What's going on, guys? It's Josiah, your success consultant, and in today's video, I'm going to give you the top 3 things that you need to do to start getting a better paying job now. All right, we're not going to waste no time with this. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you got to go back to college. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you got to get this certification. Oh, you got to get this skill and that skill. I have worked with multiple clients over the years and have helped them get $10,000 salary adjustments without any additional training, degree, or certification. And in today's video, I want to share with you 3 of the top factors, the top keys that I have used personally in working with my clients to help make that happen. Because you might be saying right now, oh man, that's some BS. How could you possibly make that much more money without having to go back to school to be able to get a college education, right? And it's unfortunate that we've never been taught this in our life, but guess what? Today is your lucky day. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you can find out how. So the first thing that you got to understand is this. If you want to be able to get a better paying job, you need to remarket yourself, okay? That's what you got to be able to understand. You have to be able to remarket yourself. Okay? So I'm taking a step back from my usual business conversations that I'll have with small business owners. And in today's video, I really want you to understand that when you're applying for a job, you are your own brand. Okay? You have a professional brand that's going to stand in front of a recruiting or hiring manager. And many people exclude themselves from being able to access high-paying jobs because they are not marketing themselves in the proper way. When I was working with my clients and I was step by step reviewing their resume, understanding the positions that they wanted to apply for, understanding the skill set that they had right now, unanimously I discovered that the problem that my clients had, the number one problem, in fact, that all of my clients were struggling with, is that they might have had good credentials, they might have had good skills, good work performance, but they did not have ideal resume marketing, okay? You got to understand that as you submit your resume before an employer, this becomes your number one most important marketing tool to be able to get a job. This resume is going to largely determine whether or not you get a phone call for an interview. And then during that interview, are you actually going to walk away securing a job? So, what is the difference between a resume that's marketed well versus a poorly marketed resume that's leaving a lot of money on the table? So first and foremost, here's one thing that you want to think about. Have you ever put on a resume or seen somebody else put on a resume, loyal, hardworking, dedicated person, friendly, easygoing, always willing to get the job done? Does this sound familiar? It might even be your resume. But the problem with putting those things on a resume is this. It's all fluff and BS. And hiring managers can see straight through it, but they will never tell you. Okay? When you're applying for a job in a professional arena, the assumption is that you're there to work. So if you put on a resume, oh yeah, I'm hardworking, this and that, what person is going to fill out a resume and give to a hiring manager something that says, oh yeah, I'm just this lazy bastard, please give me a job? Oh, yeah, I just like to sit up and scratch and, watch money go into my bank account and just coast and cruise throughout the day while I'm on Facebook during company hours. Please give me a job. Nobody's putting that on the resume. Every single person is putting on their resume the exact same thing. Oh, I work so hard. I'm loyal. I'm friendly. I'm dedicated. Everybody is putting the exact same thing, regardless of how true it is or not. So, in understanding that, you've got to be able to understand that does not communicate real value to distinguish me from the rest of my competition. Okay? If you're applying for a job and 20 people are applying for that exact same position, right? It's a good paying job, so everybody wants this job. If you got 20 people that's applying for the exact same job, do you want to be using the exact same language as the other 19 people? Or do you want to be putting something that's going to help you stand out in a positive way? The one way that you could go about doing this, I'm just putting out examples, is to remarket yourself based around real, tangible value. Okay? So instead of just talking about, oh, well, I work so hard, you need to be able to provide, really at the top of the resume, a 1 to 2 sentence description of why you're the perfect candidate for that position with a skill set, award experience, or some type of track record that indicates why you're the perfect person for the job. Okay? Now, for some of my folks that I've worked with in my programs, I've actually taken people's resume and I've revamped it from top to bottom. Okay? And it goes far beyond just what's at the top of your resume. Literally, when you think about where things are placed on a resume, what language is being used, most people make their resumes so generic. You ever seen a person that has one resume and then they turn the exact same resume to 10 different companies, right? Each particular company gets the exact same thing in an objective statement or a summary statement. Oh yeah, I'm seeking a position so that way I can make money and that way I can provide for my family because I work hard and I'm dedicated. BS. If you're subscribed to this channel of Black Men's Careers, then one of the primary principles that you should have taken away from this channel by now is that if you're going to be a Black professional trying to compete in a world of 7 billion people, you got to understand you got to be 10 times better to get afforded the same opportunity as everybody else. You got to know that off the rip, especially if you're applying for a job. Okay? There's already been enough research and enough studies to show that you could be a Black man that's college educated with no criminal record, and you're going to have a harder chance of getting a job, being gainfully employed in America than someone of another community with no college education, with a criminal background. So you got to understand, how do I distinguish myself from the pack so that way it's undeniable that I should be hired? One way to do it, the number one way to do it, is to remarket yourself. Again, listen to what I'm saying. The number one way to be able to start making more money today. I'm not talking about, okay, maybe you have a business degree, right? You went to college for 4 years and you got a bachelor's degree in business administration. You're going to go back to get an MBA and spend upwards of $100,000 just so that way you can graduate making a job that pays $10,000 more, right? That's kind of fuzzy math. You're trading $100,000 that you're expending to make an additional 10 grand, where if you would have only been taught simply remarket yourself, simply revamp the language that you use, the way that you discuss how you deliver value to the organization, how you are directly impacting the company's bottom line, how you are actually improving the operations of an organization simply by you just putting the right words on the page. You could be getting up to $10,000 right there. Now, am I saying in everybody's case that's what's going to be able to turn the needle to $10,000? No, right? Anybody that will be telling you that will be scamming you. But what I am saying is, I know this for a fact. Because of the fact that you've never been taught this, you are leaving money on the table simply because of the fact that when you turn in your resume to people, it doesn't scream, I should be paid top dollar. Most people, when they turn in a resume, it screams, I'm the same as everybody else. There's no way for you to distinguish me from John that's turning this resume, from Brad that's turning this resume, from Tony that's turning this resume. And as a result, that's the reason why you're not making top pay. Okay? So when it comes to remarketing yourself, this is very important. Now, the second thing that I want to be able to say, and just so we can be clear, I like to be able to give as much value to you as possible. And so in the interest of time, even though I can't go through all the steps right here, right now, by you being able to get the free download that's in the link that I provided to this video, I'm actually showing you step by step in a very detailed fashion how to be able to get a better job within the next 90 days. I'm going to say that again. This video, I'm highlighting the high-level summary of the top 3 things that you need to do to get a better paying job. If you are serious about making this happen for yourself within the next 90 days so that you can enjoy your pay, so that you can have more to give to your family, so that you can have more to give to yourself or your community, whatever the case may be, click the link below. It's free. All I'm going to do is email you the document on all the steps that you need to take to get a better paying job within the next 90 days. And why am I in an expert position to be able to tell you this? Because before I retired from corporate America, my job was to be a recruitment manager. I was a recruitment manager for what was at that time a Fortune 10 company. And so I've had a lot of experience, years of experience, working with candidates that wanted to come into the company and looking at all of their resumes, hiring people into good paying positions, and understanding the differences between those that got good paying positions versus those that might have been skilled but were turned down. And it all goes back to this. They did not know how to properly market themselves. See, this is the problem in a professional environment. When you got so many people that are competing for the exact same job, it's hard to be able to know just by a resume alone who's the right person for a job. But if you got 100 people that's applying for the same job because it's that good, you may not have the time as a company to interview 100 different people. So what becomes the screening tool? What becomes the filtering process to distinguish, all these other people that are not even going to get called for an interview versus the people that you're going to proceed further with to take the chance on? It's how you marketed your resume. It's how you marketed yourself. The person that gets the job isn't always the most skilled candidate for the position. The person that gets the job, in many cases, is the person that's best presented themselves to the employer on how they could deliver massive value to the organization. Every hiring manager wants to know this: can you make my company more money than what I am willing to pay you? If I pay you $50,000 per year, In an ideal circumstance, that means that you're helping me make $100,000 or more on an annual basis. So I got to know, just by looking at your resume, are you the type of person that could help my company make $100,000? And if you're not using the right language, if you're not highlighting the right accomplishments, if you're not speaking to the right skill set and distinguishing between the right bit of work experience that you have, you're never going to position yourself in a good marketing place. So that way people will look at your resume and go, oh yeah, this is the guy that should be getting paid this amount of money. This is the guy that should be getting paid 6 figures, right? Everything that I'm sharing with you right now ain't just for 5-figure positions. Let's get that clear right now. In fact, everything that I'm sharing with you in this particular video gets you one step closer to making that much more money for as better of a position as you can find. Okay? This only makes that big of a difference the higher up you go for a high-paying position. Okay? Because again, I'll give you a prime example. If you were applying for a job at McDonald's, well then in some cases, they're just taking generic resumes, right? Because they're looking for generic people. But if you are applying now for a high-paying 5-figure job, if you're applying for a 6-figure job, well then guess what? They're not just looking for generic people. So the higher up that you're going in the value ladder and applying for a position, the more that this information matters. That's the reason why I'm telling you, this is the keys that you need to be able to get a better paying job. Let's move on to the second point, okay? Here's what you need to understand after recognizing the importance of remarketing yourself based upon your current skill set. There's money that you're leaving on the table right now that you don't know about. It's invisible. And you don't have to go just back to school immediately to make more money. One of the things you just got to do is just remarket your resume, revamp your resume, okay? And I talk about that further in the link below. The second thing that you need to understand is the best jobs, right, that are available today, they're not on the open market. They're not on monster.com. They're not on indeed.com. They're not on glassdoor.com. These are many of the positions that have been maybe a little bit lesser of importance for companies to fill, or not as significant of a position for a company to fill. And that's why they put it out in that manner, right? Think about this. If you had the world's best job to offer to a person, the best pay, the best benefits, the best perks, do you really think that it would be sitting for days on end on monster.com or Indeed? God forbid you trying to look on Craigslist, right? These jobs, you're not going to find those types of jobs there. You'll get a mid-level job at best on those websites. Why? Because the best jobs, they are underground through referrals. Okay? Primarily through referrals. Now you got some companies that are a little bit more advanced and they know how to be able to scout out people, headhunt people to the point where they know they don't have to go out and just put something on a website. They know where to find the right guys for the job, okay? But I want you to understand that the point that I'm making is that you've got to be good in being able to start building connections with people that work at good companies, that are in good positions, that see good attributes in you. Okay? That's what this is all about. Now, one thing that comes to mind is LinkedIn.com. By you getting on LinkedIn and you getting connected with people that are, in good paying jobs and good companies, they have nice positions. as you start to gain connections with these people, it puts you one step closer to your opportunity to be able to get a solid referral, right? Or even if you are interested in applying for a company, why just turn in a resume into a black hole on a website? Why not make a connection with a person that works for the company? And I'm not talking about the hiring manager. I'm saying maybe somebody that's already working in the position that you want to apply for. You could go on LinkedIn.com right now and just type in, you know, programmer or developer, whatever position that you're applying for, right? This is far beyond the scope of IT. I'm just giving an example. Type in on LinkedIn the position title that you're seeking after within a company, and you can literally get search results of the people that are working those jobs at that company. You can send them a message, add them as a friend, start working up conversation to the point where you could end up being referred by having someone who can help internally. Okay? The best jobs oftentimes within an organization, they're given and passed around internally, either to people that are already working in the company that just want a better position, or they'll use someone internally to refer that job to somebody else externally. You got to think about this. For a company to put a job on like a Monster or Indeed or a Glassdoor or other job posting sites or advertisements, oftentimes they're going to have to pay some sort of advertising fee or other hosting fee that's being charged by these different job, hunting companies in order to post their positions there, right? People, you just can't do business for free. And so these companies understand, why do I need to pay somebody else to put this information out there when I know I'm offering a job that'll be snatched up in a day? Okay? So the whole point of why I'm going into this again is this is where your networking game matters. Average people that want average jobs, and I'm not saying that as a knock, okay? I'm not saying that one person is better than the other person. I'm just showing the difference in how people get high-paying jobs versus they find themselves at a ceiling where they're making money that they don't want to make, but they don't know how to get themselves out of it, okay? Average paying positions are always just going to be out there on the website for anybody to see. The best positions that are out there are not on the public market. And you got to have good connections that you're working with people to have access and the opportunity to gain those referrals. And you could do that at networking. You could do that at networking mixers. Apologies, just coming back from vacation. Referrals, right? Referrals through a networking mixer. Referrals through LinkedIn, referrals through so many different avenues of being able to connect with people, that just by connecting with the right person, you can be in a much better position than what you're looking for on a website, okay? One of the things that I always talk about in my debut book, which became a bestseller, The Valedictorian That Lives at Home with Mommy and Daddy, is business is all about connections with people, okay? People, everybody wants resources. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants a position. Everybody wants these different things, but they fail to recognize and remember that people control the things. So if you're wanting a job, it's not just about, well, do I have all of these right skills for the job? Okay, maybe that's one part of it. But they have this famous saying in the world that goes, it's not always about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you know. And that's where it kicks in right here with referrals. Third and final point. If you want to be able to get the best paying jobs, sometimes You got to make a good job into a great job by negotiating. Okay? Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. You've got to know how to negotiate. This is so important. And most people that I work with tell me that one of their primary fears is negotiation. They don't want to feel like they're having to wrestle with a person. They don't have to feel like they're going back and forth. What you got to understand is when you apply for a job, even if it's a good job, good paying job, there's always money being left on the table. And I'm telling you, nobody's going to come out and spell it out to you. Nobody's going to say, oh yeah, we're going to give you X amount of money, but I just want you to know we're leaving X other amount of money on the table. No. If you don't negotiate for it, you ain't never going to get it, and you ain't going to never know it's out there to get. So what you got to do is you've got to put yourself in a better position by negotiating for the things that you need. Negotiation is critical. I can tell you from personal experience, this was my number one regret when I took a job leaving out of college, is the fact that I was just so excited to graduate from college and just, I don't want to be one of those guys that they're talking about graduating from college and going and living back home with their parents. I don't want to be one of the guys that was, graduating from college, and no knock on everybody else. I ain't dissing nobody. I just didn't want to find myself in that situation. Seeing how many people were graduating with college degrees and were taking on jobs at Starbucks and all these other places that didn't require a degree, I looked at myself and said, damn, any job that comes my way and it's a good one, I better hurry up and snatch it because I don't want that to be me. So when I got a job offer without any negotiation whatsoever, I just hurry up and took after it. And that really made me regret things in the long term because I should have done more to get paid what I was worth. I should have taken the initiative to find out about the money that was on the table. So maybe there are positions out there right now that you have access to getting or applying for, but the problem is you're not taking that step to negotiate for how much money that you could afford to make in that position. Very important, very important. Here's one thing that I want you to think about when it comes to negotiation, right? As the Bible says, there's a time and a season for everything under the heaven. There's a right time to negotiate, and there's a wrong time to negotiate. I'm going to give you an example. When I used to be hiring people for jobs working in corporate America, one of the things that guys used to always hurry up and bring up is, oh yeah, how much is the pay? I don't know nothing about you. I don't know you from Adam. You barely handed me a resume 2 seconds ago. I don't even know if I want to interview you. But right off the rip, without you making any type of impression on me, the first thing that comes out your mouth is, well, how much are you going to pay me? Because I got this and I got this and I got this and I got this. Trust me, when you are applying for a job, the number one thing that you need to be focused on is being the right person for that position and communicating how you will be able to deliver this company maximum value. When you do that, trust me when I tell you that if you get that step right, the money will follow. Get that step right, and every other thing can be negotiable. Okay? So you got to understand, when it comes to the negotiation, there's a time and a season to properly negotiate. And that's the reason why I'm telling you again that if you're serious about getting a better job with better pay in the next 90 days, I highly advise you to click the link below. It's a free document that I put together personally that's going to show you how to be able to remarket yourself, how to be able to negotiate, how to be able to go to a network mixer and gain certain connections, break the ice with people, so that way you can build your professional network, so that way the best jobs can open itself up to you through referrals. One last thing that I'm going to say before I cut this video off. Your network is your net worth. Okay? Your network is your net worth. You are the average of the top 5 people that you spend the most of your time with. Okay? So if you spend your time around 5 people that are not making any money at all, then you're bound to be the 6th. And that's the reason why you got to start building up your professional network so that you can learn how to become the right person to get a better paying job. All right? It's not rocket science. Trust me. And that's the reason why I'm giving you this free download, so I can spell it all out. All you got to do is just go and execute. All right? So make sure you check out that file. Subscribe to this channel. As much stuff as you're getting out of these videos, there's no reason not to subscribe, okay? Because it's my job to give you as much content as I'm trying to unlock all of the things that you were never taught from the time that you were born. You were never taught it in school. You were never taught it from your parents, never learned it from your friends. And your success is contingent upon how well you apply this information. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Be your brother's keeper and share it with a friend. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.